Feliz Año Nuevo! Happy New Year, everyone! Let's get this party started and make some great money.
Yes, we promised you we'd see you next year. And here it is, January 1. Happy New Year from everybody here at the Stronach Group. Hi, everybody. Peter Lurie alongside my partner. I love the outfit, Michelle. You. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Pete. Happy New Year to you as well. And happy birthday to all of our thoroughbreds. In case you are not aware, all racehorses, regardless of when they were actually born, turn the page of the calendar on January 1st as far as their birthdays go. So everybody that was 2 yesterday is now 3 today, et cetera, no matter on what day your actual birthday is.
That's when we were breeding our horses. I know we were always going, can we get a January, February baby? That would probably be the most conducive.
Yeah, really be nice to have an early baby, but it's not that bad to have a bad one. I know Authentic was a May foal. Macho Man was a June foal.
That's true.
So there's some good horses that come in later in the year too.
If you're August, September, October, then I say, what were you thinking?
Your Southern Hemisphere.
wait till next year. We got plenty to talk about. Obviously, some good racing going on in 10 race card, a lot of stakes action. We'll get to that in a little bit. We'll also be joined by Millie Ball and, of course, Zoe Cadman throughout the broadcast. But first things first, we got to pick 5 pull at $167,796. And we are looking at horses in the paddock. 6 furlongs the distance on the turf course. I'm happy to report, listed is good.
Yeah, the turf course back in action today. And I think this is a very salty group lining up here, Pete. We're going to have Calbred maiden special weights going, that 6 furlongs. And we've got several horses that have already had an out, but we do have a bevy of first-time starters as well. So not only are you taking into account the fact that some of these horses haven't run on turf before, but now you got a whole bunch of first-time starters in, and then a full field of 12 going to be lining up. That means position is going to be key. This is a tough race.
Looking at the field, 8-5 favorite on the 5, Liberty Forever. I got to agree, and I'm surprised the horse is not lower. This horse was a decent second, trying the turf for the first time. Also a newly turned gelding, Lasix, everything you can imagine. Whether or not this horse is up for the 6 furlongs on the turf, I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah, you see, he's had a turf experience that was a good out for him, and he broke from the outside that day where he finished third. And Billy's bet was well met in that particular race. He tried Stakes Company next time out and just draw a line through that effort. And then they brought him back on dirt down at Del Mar. He actually ran second to Straight Up G, who would come back to win a stakes race at Los Alamitos against Calbred. So both of his races are holding up as far as form line goes. And you mentioned the first time gelding aspect, always a positive in my book when you have that scenario.
By the way, just for some little tidbits, all horses in the field will be making their 6 furlongs turf debut. The number 8 horse, Indio Momo, trainer Jeff Bondi, 25% in the winner's circle, first time Lasix. I thought that was an interesting stat.
Yeah, and he's got a Square Eddie here stepping up in class and also trying turf for the first time. His debut was not a bad race, and then his second out was not a good situation. Hopefully you can just draw a line through it, although the form line looks a little bit better, seeing this Fowler Blue did come back and run a winning race yesterday on the card here at Santa Anita.
Also want to welcome Daisuke Fukamoto, who made his debut yesterday here at Santa Anita Park, and got a chance to talk to Daisuke yesterday, and he was very quick to say, I asked what made the decision to come out here. He says, I've always dreamed of it when the first day I saw Yutaka Taki riding here, Japanese premier jockey, the Michael Jordan, by the way, of Japanese racing. And he said it was always a lifelong dream, and we're glad you are finally getting to experience that. Good luck to Yutaka Taki and his new agent, Patty Sterling, and we wish you a very profitable Santa Anita meet. Horses coming out on the track, 10 minutes to post to the opener, 198,000 and growing in the Pick 5 pool. And on behalf of everyone here at the Stronach Group, Happy New Year and welcome to a Saturday at Santa Anita.
Jay Cohen wishes happy birthday to all the horses at Santa Anita Park. Field on the track for race 1, start of the 50-cent early pick 5. We have a program scratch in here of number 3, Orth. Note that number 10, Lord Fisk, races with Lasix regularly. Post time for the opener, 9 minutes away, 50-cent early pick 5 starts here.
En el primer carrera, me gusta cómo se ve el número 10 y el 7. En ese orden. Buena suerte a todos. In this first race at Santa Anita, I like how the number 10 looks and the 7. Good luck to everyone.
Cadman standing alongside trainer Brian Carner. Now, Brian, you have Who's Candy in here. He's not an overly big horse, but when you brought him out into the paddock, it's like he just grew an extra hand and his game face came on.
Yeah, he's a nice little horse. Like you said, he's not that big, but when he comes out, he knows he's something. He blows up.
Did he surprise you in his debut? Because he was 43-1 in his debut. Were you expecting such a run from him?
I knew he was a pretty nice horse, but we ran him open that day, and he was running against some Uncle Mo's and some Kentucky-bred horses that made him look, a little softer. But we knew he was fast, and he showed it and ran well.
He's back with Edwin in the saddle today. How do you think he's going to handle a little bit of give in the turf course out here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's a good horse, and good horses handle any surface. So, I think he's ready for a good effort second time. So I'm expecting good things.
Best of luck, Brian Carner, and Who's Candy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. 5 minutes to post. 6 furlongs in the turf course listed as good, and a 239,000 plus now in the pick 5 pool. As far as this field is concerned,
how about a 10-1 shot I have?
Buena
That's what I was
suerte.
about to ask you. Go ahead.
All right. The 2, Worse Reed Sanchez. We all remember Bad Reed Sanchez from the same connections. This colt right here is a sibling to a horse I love, Jammin' Eddie. He had good success on the turf course, and I think that this is a nice pedigree for the grass, which he'll be trying for the first time today. I thought that he ran okay on debut. He looked like he got tired, but he broke from the rail that day and trying something new here, and always with a start under the belt. I think that can move horses forward. He looks like he's warming up here with good energy as well, Pete.
Looking at the field, of course, right now we can't see them. They're behind the pond. There is the 4-horse Philosopher's Tone. Would be a bit of a shock at 80-1. My gal Kim made me put $2 across the board because she is a bit of a Harry Potter fan.
I like it. Philosopher's Tone, so a fun little spin on Philosopher's
What can you say? The works are not bad. I just
pedigree for turf.
Yeah.
By acclamation out of a
Unusual
rock hard 10 mare. Definitely grass top and bottom, although maybe a bit more ground in his future.
What is your thought? Horse that hits the board, maybe? Or
well, I will say this: knowing that Jeff Metz has several stables kind of spread around, and he is also based at Turf Paradise, and they have grass racing there. The fact that he opts to start this horse here and not there, I think that they must like something about him.
Okay. Horse right next to him, though, that is Liberty Forever. We were just discussing the 6 Divine Bascal for Carla Gaines. Good luck to the connections. This one, again, working well. The works, and if you see unusual heat, how can you not think the horse got a shot on the grass?
Yeah, this horse has had some siblings running in our circuit as well. Like you mentioned, a nice local spin, 47 and change for Carla, who's about 10% with the first-time starters. And there's a couple of works in here, like a minute work, and just sprinkled in to show that this horse might have some talent there that maybe they're not expressing fully in the mornings. And as usual for Carla, that horse very well turned out. Looking at Street Humor right now, though, he looks like he is getting really worked up, and this is a horse, Pete, that I liked on paper. You can see he ran second on debut, going a mile on grass, and then they brought him back and shortened him up and put him on the dirt, and he still was able to manage a third. So nice Calbred in that he can run on both surfaces. He's run well in both of those, but I didn't see him at Del Mar, and I wasn't at Los Al, so I don't know if this is how his normal MO is, but I'll be marking it for future to see how he runs today, because he is really washed out. You can see between his legs he's sweaty, and even under his saddle pad, when it moves to the side a little bit, you see the white lather of his sweat dripping.
We'll hear from Millie Ball momentarily over the $300,000 marker here in the pick 5. 2 minutes to post. Good luck.
Well, welcome to Santa Anita's turf course. Standing on it, it feels very lush here in the chute. First turf race, and it's 6 furlongs. And looking over this form, I think one thing that's important to point out is we may see a little bit of form change from those horses that have already raced as 2-year-olds, because now they're newly turned 3-year-olds and they're allowed to run with Lasix. So some horses you may see a change in form with the addition of medication. Number 2, Worst Reed Sanchez. This 3-year-old colt by Square Eddie was actually the work partner for Hot Rod Charlie on opening day. That work was on the 12th of December. And he was able to carry Hot Rod Charlie about 4.5 furlongs in that work. And then Hot Rod Charlie blew by him and continued on and went on to run in the San Antonio Stakes. Now, the number 7, Michelle brought up a very good point, that Street Humor is pretty hot and bothered. He's lathered between the hind legs there, and still, even though he's far away from the grandstand, is a little bit agitated. So when you see that, it definitely concerns you a little bit as to how mentally they are loading into the gate. The number 11, you heard from Brian Coroner with Zoe Cadman moments ago, and that work on the 19th of December was super. Who's Candy had a slow first half in that work, but finished up really strong. That's the right way you want to see a work. Slow early and strong and fast late. And that's what we saw in that 1:16:3 workout, which at first glance doesn't appear to be too impressive. Was 43-1 first time out and finished second. Ran over the odds. Let's see what Who's Candy can do today. They have arrived at the gate. The number 1, Jack Sixpack, has been gelded since his last start, and he's arrived actually very relaxed. Ears pricked forward, he looks focused, and we'll see how he loads into the gate. Frank Miramati for the first time on this Saturday.
Happy New Year, Millie, and the entire audience watching as it's post time at the Great Race Place. Moving in, Jack Sixpack has loaded. Here's Worst Reed Sanchez. Magnificent Ride has loaded. Philosopher's Tone going up. Last few left to load. Divine Rascal. Who's Candy? Arthur Spooner, 1 from the outside. 2 back. Street Humor. And Dark Marcus to the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off. Arthur Spooner, Street Humor, both out very quickly, and in between them, Who's Candy is fastest of them all up to take the lead. Indio Momo is only about 1.5 lengths off the pace, and Liberty Forever a close-up 4th, 3 off the lead. Down at the rail, Jack Sixpack, Philosopher's Tone is in between horses, and Divine Rascal outside of that pair past the half-mile pole. Another 3 to Arthur Spooner, who is followed by Dark Marcus, Lord Fisk, and Worst Reed Sanchez. Then a gap to Magnificent Ride, who trails. Strung out field behind Who's Candy. Leading by 2. Street Humor is in second. Liberty Forever hugs the rail, inches a little bit closer in third. Jack Sixpack is trying to get involved on the inside of Indio Momo. And then Arthur Spooner, they're at the top of the stretch. Who's Candy, 2.5 length lead. Liberty Forever angles out, but is 3 lengths behind inside the final 1/8 of a mile. And it's Who's Candy just cruising through the stretch. Late run, Worst Reed Sanchez in the center for a piece, but a no doubt about it effort from Who's Candy, who strolls by 3. Liberty Forever was second. It was then a photo for third, goes to Dark Marcus in front of Worst Reed Sanchez and Jack Sixpack. Number 11, 5, Liberty Forever ran second. 13, Dark Marcus third. 2, Worst Reed Sanchez fourth. And number 1, Jack Sixpack was fifth. 11-5, 13-2-1. Post it.
Buena suerte.
That was a great ride by Edwin Maldonado, the first race for trainer Brian Corner.
Yeah, really nice effort there from Who's Candy, and I think that this horse ran well enough on debut and definitely poured it on late there. So really nice second outing.
And right now, the number one jockey and trainer of the new year, Edwin Maldonado and Brian Corner.
Oh, there you go.
There is the one, and that is Queen of Thorns. She was $300,000 OBS purchase, and the works say my horse might be okay. I got this one on top.
Yeah, the second back work, especially, I watched over on XP TV. The gate drill was working alongside company and was the best out of the gate, and asked a little bit late and was able to show some response. I thought that this filly, looking at it, I either thought you had to single or go all in this particular race with the compact field and just the way that that filly has been working. So I think that she's really intriguing. I also thought that the 2 Snark was interesting. For Eric Kroljak, you can see a nice series of drills on the training track, but Eric Kroljak likes to work his horse on the training track, regardless of what surface they might wind up on. She was also listed as a fit and ready horse from the today's handicappers report. And, they do a really good job tabbing when horses are set to peak based on works.
Absolutely. every step of the way for Jonathan Wong, one of two he has in the race. 20% with his first-time starters. So good luck to Jonathan Wong in this race. Manarelli, again, Edwin Maldonado looking for both ends of the double here for Luis Mendez. This is a 3-year-old daughter of Outwork. We're so used to seeing him with the 2-year-olds and then they go somewhere else. This is interesting to have a second-time starter still with him.
Yes, and we saw Luis Mendez with the winner yesterday. In fact, he had 15 wins, including yesterday. Last year, 14 of those were with 2-year-olds.
Interesting.
So only one with an older horse. Interesting that Jonathan Wong also has a pair in here, and they're both from the same connections, Tommytown Thoroughbreds. The horse on the outside with a little bit better work tab on paper was a $65,000 purchase, and the horse that's coming out of the 4-hole with Abel Cedillo aboard, $200,000 purchase, and the works are a little on the pedestrian side. I'll be interested to see if this filly wakes up when she gets on the track.
Both of them, the last work was on the training track, so I don't know if they were expecting something or if they were hoping for some turf. We do not know. All I can tell you is
that was the only track that was open that day.
That's what I wanted to hear. $45,000, $532 in the pick 4 pool. Horses coming out on the track. 10 minutes to post. Race number 2. Good luck.
En esta
The
carrera
horses are heading
número
onto the
2,
track
me
for the
gusta el
second
número
race. Start of
2.
the early pick 4. 9 minutes to post.
En esta carrera me voy a jugarme de 2 y el que yo quiero por un precio para la exacta y trifecta, me voy a jugar de 5. 2-5. In this race, I like the number 2, but for a price to using your exotic plays, I like the number 5. Buena suerte a todos. Good luck to everyone.
Very happy to be joined by Justin Border and DeLacy Border of Border X-Line Racing et al. A lot of people in this ownership. We're talking Queen of Thorns, the 1-horse. Tell me a little bit about her. It looks like she's really grown up and filled out since the last time I saw her, Justin.
Yeah, she has. It's been it's taken a lot of patience. We have, fortunately, like you mentioned, a lot of great partners on this horse, and so we knew what we had when we bought her. We knew it might take a little bit of time, and it's worked out so far so good. She's filled in and developed really nicely, and Peter's very happy.
4 of the 5 first-time starters. She draws the one hole, but she's worked very well out of the gate, has she not?
She did, especially the second work, and you love to see that progression from the first one to the second. And like with a lot of debuts, you hope that you're not going to get the rail necessarily. It's not always optimal, but we think she'll handle it just fine today.
You got your daughters, Lainey, here. Lainey, any New Year's resolutions for you? Did you make any this year?
I learned how to play piano this year, and I was really excited about it.
Learn how to play piano. Well done. You can teach me. Good luck with Queen of Thorns here, guys.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
En esta carrera me gusta el número 2 y para precio para usar en una exacta me gusta el 5. Buena suerte a todos. In this race I like the number 2, but for a price for the exotics I like the 5 to use in your in an exotic play. Good luck to everyone.
It's time for our first main track race of the day. Race number 2, maiden special weights at 6 furlongs. And just credit going to Dennis Moore for the challenging job he had of making sure that this track was safe and fast. And it is in excellent shape here. The works this morning were on the much slower side, so I would imagine the track a little bit slower than we're used to seeing. But congratulations to Dennis Moore for his terrific job of getting it ready and safe. As we're looking at the horses here, Queen of Thorns goes by. You heard from the group that own Queen of Thorns. She outbroke Baffert's Kerouac on the 13th of December, and I thought put in a pretty precocious work for a newly turned 3-year-old. She got a bit of speed too. She got a little bit leg wobbly at the end, got a little tired after that work, and she's come back and had another work against an older horse and did very work as well. So certainly deserves strong consideration. But Snark to me is the way to go in here for trainer Eric Kroljack. You get Johnny V aboard, a super work on the 17th of December, came home extremely strong, and out of Naughty or Nice, who was the dam of Rush, who earned 100,000. She was a 7-time winner sprinting. So Snark to me on the fit and ready list for handicappers report and that super work on the 17th of December. I'm going to land there, but I think it's between those two, Snark and Queen of Thorns. They've arrived at the gate all in very good shape, behaving themselves on their birthday. Let's hand it up to Frank Miramati for the call. Race number 2.
It's post time for the second race. Field moving into line. Distorted Queen every step of the way. They're in the gate. And they're off. Manarelli is going to the front. Snark, who was off last, is rushing up, one from the rail. Queen of Thorns is down on the fence. Now it's Snark and Queen of Thorns who go on with it. Manarelli 3 deep, a length and a half off the pace, then Distorted Queen in every step of the way. It's Queen of Thorns to the half-mile pole, leading by about a length. Snark in pursuit second, 2 more Manarelli third, Distorted Queen every step of the way. Program order into the far turn. Queen of Thorns opens it up to 2. Snark asks for a bit more. On the far outside every step of the way. Distorted Queen at the rail, Manarelli between those two. They're coming to the quarter pole, and Queen of Thorns with a nice action in front, a length and a half. Snark trying to rally from second. Distorted Queen is down at the rail. They turn for home, and Queen of Thorns breezing along. Widens at will. A promising performance from Queen of Thorns, who's jogging home, galloping through the stretch in front by a half dozen. It will be Queen of Thorns, who could not have been more impressive. Second to Snark, Distorted Queen, and Manarelli. Number 1, Queen of Thorns was first, 2 Snark second, 4 Distorted Queen third, and 3 Manarelli fourth. Running time, 1:10 flat.
to wherever you happen to be watching us here at beautiful Santa Anita Park. We've got a work we want to show you, courtesy of our partners over at XB TV. The 5-horse Billy Buckner, known as Billy Buck to his friends out there.
Now this is going to be an in-company work. He's along the inside. You can actually see right there, he's trying to get out, and the rider going to be tapping him on the shoulders. This is actually a really great example of why it's important for riders to carry sticks, because that horse was trying to get out around the whole turn. The rider had to really encourage him to stay in there. But what I like to see is, even though this horse started off the work green, was very green in the middle of the worker on the turn, down towards the lane right here, he is going to try and finish up well. The rider on the outside is asking, and this horse is still able to persevere. So overall, I thought a green filled, but maybe some talent in their work from the debuter, Bill Buckner.
Bill Buckner, named in honor of the great Los Angeles Dodger. I will say Chicago Cub. I shall say Boston Red Sox, and I know one team is escaping me. He was a 1980 National League batting champion, and as we all know, Mr. Nick Alexander likes to name some horses after some famous Dodgers.
Yes, he does.
13.
Dodgers, War Heroes, and Americana.
You know what? It's good to be Nick Alexander, because you know Nick can't say no. In case you're wondering what we're talking about, Nick's car dealership, that was always their catchphrase. 13 minutes to post for race number 3, the Super High 5 pool with a carryover 1839. That's going to put them over the $3,500 in wage. Smuggler's Run. I put this horse on top, but I got to admit, in the pick 5 ticket, I did not single. I went 3 deep.
I singled.
Interesting.
I singled Smuggler's Run, which is funny because we were talking about that last race, and I thought I had singled Pete's horse, and then I looked at my ticket and I didn't. I had gone the other way and gone,
All box.
now, and watching her, I'm like, oh, that was an easy single. I even told him when he walked by, that's a single right there. But I thought that Smuggler's Run showed a lot in that last work, especially that Millie was able to show as a bullet drill. Despite not breaking super sharp there, he does have a beautiful long stride. He just comes from an absolute family of winners here. So I'll be cheering on my good friends at KMN Racing with Smuggler's Run today, which, by the way, is named after the Star Wars land ride, Smuggler's Run.
Ah, so you must have named this horse.
But we were in line for Smuggler's Run, and I was like, you should name a horse Smuggler's Run.
I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna. 3 horse in front of us there is Agador Spartacus, named in honor of the character from the motion picture, the Birdcage. He was their manservant. Val Brinkerhoff sends out the 3-year-old son of Shaman Ghost, who gets checks, but it's tough for me. I almost comes across a little one-paced for me.
They still can't find the perfect spot for Agador Spartacus. You know, when he was sprinting, we knew he wanted to go further. You could see he's just a big, huge, very good-looking boy. But then they stretched him out, and he still wasn't able to win, although his better finishes have definitely been going out of ground. They're going to cut him back again after cutting him back last time. So I don't know what to do with Agador Spartacus. If you just look at him, he wants to be a good horse, but they just haven't found the right race for him. Maybe he needs to go further than a mile, where that one-pace gear can really just excel.
I think you might be right. 2 horse Heaven's Music for Edwin Alvarez. First time gelding. Good second last time out at Del Mar for the maiden 50. Now jumps back up to the Calbred maiden special. It's so encouraging for Edwin Alvarez.
I'll tell you what, this horse made a fantastic appearance at the paddock. He's a big sparkling chestnut. He came over really gleaming, and I thought he looked great. First time gelding, like you mentioned. We'll have to see, though, if he's going to be able to contend with maiden special weights. His 2 tries against maiden special weight, one was on the grass and the other was on debut. So I will give him a pass for the debut race and grass as well. So we're just not sure if he's going to be able to step up, but he's been knocking on the door at the maiden 50 level.
Good luck out to the 7 there. Brian Corner looking for 2 winners on the day. Big Impact for JMS Stables, a 3-year-old dynamic impact. Kind of an even race last time out, was well meant by the public across town at Los Al.
I think a little bit more ground is going to work in his favor. Although his December 18th work, I was not in love with. He was all in to get the 49 and change.
Just noticed the 6 horse Tucker's Tribute, owned in by the DP Racing Stables, James Cassidy, the conditioner, without the rider going out. I have a feeling Ryan Curatola is probably going to get a leg up in the tunnel, one would have to guess. 10 minutes to post for race number 3. The carryover and the Super Hive carryover pool combined here, it looks like we're approaching $4,000. Good luck.
The horses are on the track for the third race. Post time in 9 minutes.
Pues yo en esta carrera por precio, me gusta cómo se ve el número 5. También cuando estaba calentando ahí en el ring, me gustó cómo se veía. In this race, I like the number 5. I liked how it looked out in the ring and looks well enough that possibly even coming for your exotic plays. Good luck to everyone. Buena suerte a todos.
Seven minutes to post for race number 3. As we mentioned, we have a couple of horses in here. The one was acting up was the 6, Tucker's Tribute. With more on that, let's go out to Zoe Cadman. Zoe?
Paddock. He was quite rambunctious before in the saddling paddock, continued that on out here in the walking paddock, but he is aboard him now and he does actually look quite well. I did have a chance to speak to trainer Jim Cassidy. He simply said, I hope he's like his full brother, Tropical Terror. So we'll see. He definitely looks like he may use the race and probably need a race, but I'm glad to see he's behaving very well indeed. Now that's a quick look at the 6, Tucker's Tribute. Let's move on to the 1 to 5 favorite, and most definitely the horse to beat in here. That is the 4, Smuggler's Run. He's a gelded son of Straight Fire. Now, Straight Fire broke his maiden for trainer Keith DeSormo by 10.5 lengths at Del Mar. He came back with a second place finish in 2 grade ones after and was subsequently retired due to injury. He's had 13 runners and 10 winners to date. That is good for a 77 strike rate for a first crop sire. So that's a little bit on Smuggler's Run. You saw his work earlier with Flavian Pratt. I did get a chance to speak to Flavian about him. Said he doesn't always break that sharp, but he's a very, very nice horse indeed. Flavian Pratt looking to go back to back here. Smuggler's Run, not an overly big horse, but seems to be doing everything right out there on the racetrack and is most definitely the horse to beat. Just not much of a price here, Pete, at 1 to 5.
Thanks, Zoe. Horse is getting close to the gate. 5 minutes to post. Race number 3, approaching $6,000 in combined pool for the super high 5 here in race number 3. Good luck, everybody. 5 minutes to post.
We're back on the main track here for race number 3, the maiden special weight race number 2, 6 furlongs. They ran the race in 1:10 and 4, so not as slow as I had anticipated from the morning workouts to the races in the afternoon. So that's great sign there. We've got a nice fair racetrack. Let's take a look at number 4, Smuggler's Run. You heard from Zoe Cabin some great information there on the sire and the dam Maddie's Odyssey. All 5 of her offspring have won, including the half sister sneaking out, who earned 530,000, and the half brother is Grecian Fire. You might remember him. He earned 400,000. So top and bottom, you've got some good pedigree there on Smuggler's Run. Flavian had mentioned the horse can break a little bit slowly. He came out to work him on the 18th of December, and he was a little bit green just to get going out of the gate, but once he got his legs underneath him, he worked very smoothly and finished up really nice and strong, like a horse that was fit and ready for his first start. That's the number 4 Smuggler's Run, who's very relaxed walking alongside the pony there. The number 1 just rushing down here a little bit, that's Erebus for Walter Solis, and wanted to quickly touch on the number 2, Heaven's Music. I thought he was one of the prettiest horses that made his way down here. First time gelding, Heaven's Music. I'm going to put him underneath.
It's post time for the 3rd. Horses moving into line. Tucker's Tribute. Smuggler's Run. Big Impact. And they're off. Quick start for Agador Spartacus. Big Impact has speed on the far outside and now up to take the lead. Tucker's Tribute is up close. And now Smuggler's Run, who didn't have the smoothest of beginnings, moving right up to engage for the lead. Erebus is down at the rail, about 2.5 off the pace. Bill Buckner is shuffling back. Heaven's Music in between those two. And Tucker's Tribute is the distant trailer. Into the far turn they go. It's Agador Spartacus at the rails. Smuggler's Run just in front. Big Impact on the outside of this pair. Just about a half length separates the top 3. Then Heaven's Music. Bill Buckner losing ground. Erebus is next, and Tucker's Tribute. They're a 1/4 mile from home, and it's Smuggler's Run in front, 3/4 of a length. Agador Spartacus at the rail in second. Big Impact is in third. Bill Buckner on the outside of Heaven's Music. Final furlong, and Smuggler's Run opens up, leads it by 3 over Agador Spartacus. On the outside comes Big Impact. Those two battling for second along with Heaven's Music. It will be Smuggler's Run. Smuggler's Run wins easily by almost 5. Big Impact, Agador Spartacus, Heaven's Music, and Erebus. Number 4, Smuggler's Run was first. Photo for second. Finishing second, number 7, Big Impact. Third, 3, Agador Spartacus. Fourth, 2, Heaven's Music. Fifth, 1, Erebus. 4-7, 3-2-1. In the Run Happy winner's circle, number 4, Smuggler's Run. 3-year-old bay gelding by Straight Fire out of Maddie's Odyssey. Owned by KMN Racing, trained by Ruben Alvarado, and ridden by Flavien Pratt. Back-to-back winners for Flavien Pratt. Smuggler's Run was bred in California by owner KMN Racing. Running time, 111.17 seconds as Smuggler's Run makes his debut a winning one. Fourth race, scratch 1 and 5. Post time on the board shortly.
Claimer. Welcome back, everybody, on our New Year's Day here at beautiful Santa Anita Park. Michelle, we've got a field of 8 now with the late scratch of Too Much Heaven, the one horse there for trainer Bill Spar, but it's an 8-5 favorite on the one. 9 horse Trickle In, speed on the outside, always dangerous.
Yeah, I like that particular angle. And Pete, before we jump into this race, I wanted to go over some of the picks we had going on for today. We're doing pick 'em. So it's basically prop bets, and it's free to play. If you go to santanita.com/pick 'em, you fill out all of these, and anytime you get right, you get a score for, right? So like 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and you don't lose points for not coming in. But
all right, let me get into it. How good are you doing?
Well, some of these are okay. So it's not just horse racing, right? So like one of them is Ohio State minus 4.5 or Utah plus 4.5.
Ohio State.
Also, how many 3-pointers will Steph Curry attempt in the Warriors Jazz game?
8.
8. Okay. So there were some that I did need help with, right? Which race will have the largest margin of victory by lengths? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I actually picked race 3. So we'll see if I'm going to be alive to that.
I would have gone with race 2. I'm kidding.
Anyways,
you were just perfect.
They're super fun. Play along. It's free, and it's at santanita.com/pick 'em.
Nice.
So back to this race. So you should Trickle In, breaking from the outside with some speed. Yes, yes, and yes. Also the big class drop down. She was beaten last time against allowance types. 2 starts back, she was second against open 40. So this 25, even the 32 level should probably hit her square between the eyes. And she went winless in 2021. But I think part of that was just so many route opportunities for her, and she just didn't want to hang around for the routes. And then the times that they got her to sprint, sometimes it was against stakes companies, sometimes you end up with a big class dropper. So I think that she's looking for this kind of 6 furlong claiming trip, and this is what she's getting here today.
I have played her twice now, so I need to get paid.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
I preferred the 2.
Current betting favorite now.
Oh, is it?
5.
Okay. So Invincibella for Doug O'Neill. She's going to be stretching out in trip. I know she suits at the level. The one thing I was just looking at is I was concerned for Trickle In, even though she's on the outside, so she has the advantage. There were a couple of speed horses to her inside, and should they send, she just might end up parked wide.
Absolutely.
And I thought Invincibella would get a little bit better trip. But from a horse-to-horse basis, I like Trickle In. I just don't love her maybe trip scenario if she ends up in a big tangle up front.
I've got it the same way. I'm in this pick 5 ticket, which is looking a little grim right now. 2 and 9. So I'm totally with you on that. The reason why I thought Trickle In on the outside, look at, by the way, the 6. Is there any horse that looks
she's
better
so pretty, isn't
Magical
she?
Gray? You and I, we both have our fondness for grays, but that is gorgeous.
She's not just like a fancy gray. She just carries herself
She's almost
beautifully.
white.
She's got like a nice walk. And I just, every time I see her, she just looks like she's walking around there like, I know you're looking at me.
She's a 7-year-old mare, and the closer they get 7, 8 years old, the gray becomes white. And she just looks amazing. The point I'm making about Trickle In, you've got potentially cheap the 3 for Jamie Thomas. By the way, Jamie Thomas off a 7-month layoff, he hits at 20%. Good luck to him. That's a nice little fun fact. He's got speed with her. Then you've got the 4-horse Swirling has speed, and on the outside Trickle In. So I'm hoping Trickle In breaks alertly, gets position, and then just kind of drafts off the other 2.
Okay, so you want her to just lay off the pace.
No, well, not laying off per se. I mean, but if she can sit off their flank, I think it bodes better for her.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
Horses getting ready, coming out on the track, field of 7, going postward, 11 minutes to post. Good luck.
Jay Cohen brings them out for race 4. Scratch 1, Too Much Heaven. Scratch 5, Henny's Crazy Train.
Zoe Cadman here reporting it live from the paddock here, and we're taking a good look at Cheap, 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 trained by Jamie Thomas. She's not in here for the tag because she's been off for quite some time. We've not seen her since the 31st of May, so not eligible to be claimed, which I see as a vote of confidence here. I love the way she looks. We've seen her down in Southern California before, and I can honestly say I don't think I've ever seen her look this good. She's got a sheen on her, which looks like it's the middle of July and not the beginning of January. She's warmed up very, very nicely indeed. She's bright, she's alert, she's got her ears pricked. And if you go back through her past performances, you'll find an 85 bias speed figure that jumps off the page right here at Santa Anita. That is the highest of any of these fillies of mares in the field. So if she can regain some of that form off the layoff, I think Cheap, Cheap, Cheap is excellent value here at 9-1. That is the 3, Cheap, Cheap, Cheap at a price.